Hello everybody, I am Sammy for Team the Dragon Team here today, and today we have yet another Decklist in interview with Kayden Shivers. However, this time around we're doing things a little differently. Since up until this point, we have pretty much exclusively interviewed masters. I decided, you know what, let's get a senior on here. Just why not, right? Plus, he's a really good one apparently, just because he managed to do pretty well with a fairly similar list. He won Texas, which is a really large state, and he also top forward Oklahoma. So, yeah, it's pretty good. So, before we get too much into it, tell us why you decided to play. Actually, Texas came first. Texas was before Oklahoma, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, um, before we get too much further into it, tell us why you decided to play trees.
I saw the Turkey Beach scans for Trevenant BREAK,
Mhm.
and I was immediately excited. I thought it would be really good in the format because the meta is very heavy in items, and there's very little good draw supporters. So we started with a skeleton build with delinquent red card,
Mhm.
and it didn't work as well as we thought, so we tried it with hammers and switched the delinquent red card. It worked a little better, but we felt that it would do better and it had more potential than that. So we made it a, a deck where it does more damage and it worked great. So we kept testing it and testing the matchups, and I felt really confident. And then I went into Texas State Championship.
Nice, nice. So, how many rounds were there in Texas for seniors?
There were 6.
6 rounds. Okay, that's a fair. That's pretty large. So what did you face round one?
I went against Magnezone, and I was going first, and I got the turn 1 Wally, and I had the energy, so I passed. Then she wasn't able to play or get any Pokemon on the bench because she was item locked,
Yep.
and I was able to get another energy and dunk the Magneton or Magnemite. Yeah, and that's how round 1 went.
Nice. I forgot that Magnezone was still a thing. Did pretty well at cities, but just kind of fell off it seems for states.
And then game 2, I guess she didn't think that it was. I think she thought it was just luck, so she wanted to go second, and
Ooh.
it was interesting. I was rubbing my hands together like yes, and I started with Phantom and got the turn 1 Trev, but this time she had a couple more Pokemon, but all she really had in hand was 2 Rough Seas, and I bumped the stadium once she played it down with Dimension Valley. Got Trevenant BREAK in play and started knocking out all her Pokemon.
Traditionally, and mostly I've seen Magnezone doesn't play maybe no more than one or two rough seeds. So ninth, like you should for the most part be able to win that stream more often than not. But if not, the rough seeds does kind of is kind of a pain in the butt for your silent fear attack. But
Yeah.
you're able to win anyway because she did not realize the potential of Trevenant apparently. So what did what so what did you play in round two?
I played against Toad Tina, but this time they weren't. I don't think they tested the matchup because they were trying to use Seismic Toad and Quaking Punch me. But Quaking Punch isn't really effective because it doesn't do enough damage.
No,
And
no, it does not.
no. And Trevenant's Silent Fear was able to outrace it, and I was able to get 120 on the active Toad, and I had 90 damage on the Shaman. Got another energy attachment on the Trevenant, and was able to do Tree Slam for the 60 on the active, and none of them had Fighting Fury belts on it. They had Muscle Band, or it had a Muscle Band on.
Yeah.
So I was able to one-shot the Toad and the 2 shamans and took 6 prizes.
Oh, that's so good. It's always like kind of satisfying when you're able to take like 6 prizes in one turn. It really is. But yeah, Totina can give Trev, like in my experience, can give Trev a bit trouble. But Trev has to go first. Not Trev, but Giratina has to go first, and they have to get a Chaos Wheel turn 2, and just hope that like you are not able to get too much going real quickly.
Yeah, the Giratina is a big problem, but as long as you can keep it from attacking, then you should be fine.
Yeah, not to mention you don't really need you don't really need the special energy with the tools that much. Sure, it helps, but like as long as you have a couple of psychic energies, you still should be able to give them a little bit of a trouble. But like you said, just need to attack them quick and hard. So
And sorry.
in game 2, how did that game go?
Okay, so he started with Giratina, and he didn't get much going. He got a double dragon energy on it and a fighting fairy belt, and just pretty much passed. Didn't get that much set up, but then I was able to draw Headringer and then Wally the Phantom and get an energy attachment. And I got 2 more Phantoms, and then I passed, and I think he whiffed the energy to do Chaos Will. So I played Team Flare Grunt to get rid of his double dragon energy, and after that he couldn't get anything going with the item lock, and I would just keep Team Flare Grunting or Zero Sicking his energy that he would attach.
Yeah, it pretty much, to me, it seems like the game was pretty much over as soon as he whiffed the second energy attachment on his second turn. As soon as that, like when I miss my second energy attachment on the Giratina, I just know, oh great, I'm not winning this game probably.
Well, he still wasn't able to attack since there was a Headringer on that Giratina.
No, that hurts too.
Yeah.
I thought you said there was a fighting fairy. Oh wait, you probably zero sixed that away eventually, correct?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, not as much. So you're 2-0 going to game 3. What did you play there?
On round 3, I was late because I was goofing around with my friends.
Oh, come on, brah.
And I didn't hear the round 3 pairings are up, so that's already a downside, and that ends up hurting me. So on game 1, he starts with Zubat and starts powering up a Manectric on his bench to be able to do Assault Laser. And I wasn't able to use Bursting Blooms because if I did, then he was able to one-shot my Trevs. And I only had 1 Trev set up, so I'd still be playing the catch-up game.
Oh yeah.
If I were to.
Yes, we. No, continue.
And then I wasn't able to get anything set up because he would keep knocking me out. And there were some points where I would miss the Trevenant BREAK, and I just couldn't set up Trevs faster than he was knocking me out.
Yeah. So you lost that game 1, or how was game 2 going?
I went first, and I got the item lock. And since I got the item lock, he wasn't able to play down much, and he didn't get anything set up real well. But he got like 2 Manectrics down, but he wasn't able to do Assault Laser. And if he did, I already had a Trevenant BREAK up, and there was nothing he could do because I kept Silent Fearing, knocking him out, and he dead drew that whole time pretty much.
So game 1 for you was kind of one-sided in his favor, and game 2 was kind of one-sided in your favor. So how did game 3 go?
He started with a Zubat and a Manectric on the bench again. But this time, after a couple of turns, he would start powering his Manectric up, like with flash energies, and I would play Xerosic. Then after a while, time was called, and there was no way for either of us to get 6 prizes, and to make it even worse, lunch was right after that.
It always kind of stinks when you have to like tie right before lunch break, because that means you have to take another like 5-10 minutes just not to eat lunch. So, oh well. I figured that would have been a tie because usually when it's fairly often in this format, if you go to game three, odds are you're gonna be tying. That's just how it is, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So after lunch break, you're probably feeling pretty refreshed and fairly confident. I would suppose, since you are 201 at this point, correct?
I'm 2-0. I'm 2-1 actually. Wait, isn't that what you said?
I said 201. Two wins, 0 losses, and a tie.
No, I'm 2-1 because I was late and it went into tie.
Oh, okay. So because it went to a tie, it automatically. Oh, come on, bro. This is exactly why you don't do that. Oh well, that's. Uh, hey, but have you learned your lesson?
Yes, I have.
Okay, good to know. All right, so game, game four. What did you play there?
It was a mirror matchup and I
Oh,
went
fun.
2-0-1. The first game, or 2-1, sorry.
That's fine.
First game, I couldn't get set up, and pretty much it depends on whoever gets the better setup wins in the mirror matchup.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get set up, pretty much, and he got the turn 1 Trev, so that really hurt me. And then game 2, I went first, and I got the turn 1 Trev, and pretty much the opposite happened.
I figure that's how that go.
Then game 3, he went first, got turn 1 Trev, but I was still able to fight through it and got the Lysander, and I started with Phantom, and I was able to play my items, and it got really close to the point where I had 3 Phantoms, a Shaman, and I had 2 Trevenants, and then it came down to if he was going to put down that break for the final knockout, and he got his 3rd Trevenant break prize, and I won that game.
So basically, that game kind of went down to, did he prize the break? And he did. That's sometimes what games go down to. If they prize that last card, they need to win the game. It's unfortunate, but stuff like that happens.
It does.
Alright, so round 4, you are 3-1. What did you play there?
I played against Mega Sceptile.
Okay.
I started with Shaman, attached a Float Stone, and played Ultra Ball for Phantom, Retreat. Also, he was going first.
Okay.
And he had the Energy Muscle Band on his Trevenant EX. And I was able to retreat the Phantom and play Ascension to get the turn 1 Wally.
Nice.
And then I also played Team Flagrant to get rid of the energy attached to the Trevenant Break. But I didn't even know, but he had 2 more energies in his hand. And he played Lysander up the Shaman and started using Trevenant EX's first attack, which makes it where the defending Pokemon can't retreat. And pretty much Shaman was stuck there in the active, and I was able to keep playing VS Seeker and Team Flare running the energy attached to Trevenant EX, but he would always have the energy to be able to attach and keep using his attack.
Alright. I just want to stop you here real quick, because you keep saying Trevenant EX. I do realize that like it has the same amount of HP as a lot of EXs, but with like, or at least a little, but it's Trevenant Break, dude.
No, the EX.
No, Trevenant EX.
The grass one.
The grass one.
Oh, okay, my bad. Oh, you're talking about his. Okay, my bad. I goofed. He played Trevenant EX in Sceptile?
Yeah. So he could pretty much use it like in the when Thundercats uses Mega Manetric to power up the Raikou. I guess he uses Sceptile to power up his Trevenants.
That's interesting. I forgot Trevenant EX was actually a thing. It's like I completely forgot about that.
I think a lot
Wow.
of people do forget that.
Like, it's technically not a bad attack. It's just not good at anything. But
Mhm.
anyway, you said you 2-0'd that deck, correct?
What?
Wait, where did we leave off before I so rudely interrupted you?
He played Lysander up the Shaman,
No.
and eventually I was able to set up Phantoms and Trevenant Breaks on the bench. Then I played Judge, and he didn't get an energy, and I was able to retreat Shaman and start using Silent Fear. And the next card was the energy, and he was starting to attack my Trevenant Breaks, but it was already too late, and I was starting to knock out a lot of stuffs before he could knock out my first Trevenant. And then game 2, he started with a Sceptile, and he was going first, and he had another Sceptile on his bench. He put an energy to the active, played Sycamore, and passed, and he didn't get much. So I played Headringer on the active Trevenant, and played Team Flaregrunt, Ultra Bald, because Wobbuffet was active, and put a Floatstone on the Wobbuffet, retreated into the Phantom, attached an energy, and used Ascension, and he wasn't able to do much after I played Ascension, even though he played Sycamore again.
Cool.
And it pretty much went downhill for him.
Yeah, that feels when you go Sycamore and draw a fresh card of 7, only to find nothing but items under item block. It's just such a thank you, Sycamore. I just that feel like come on, man. So alright, so your 3 run going into round 5?
That Mega Manetric or Mega Sceptile was round 5, right?
Okay. I think that was yeah, you're right. My bad. I'm bad. So this was your final round then, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I'm guessing you just tied here then, correct?
I played against YZG or YEZ,
You've
and
also
ID'd to him, and then yep.
So,
And then it was on to top 8.
did you do it all in one day, or did you guys come back the second day to do it?
It was 2 days.
Okay, just making sure. I thought as much, but you never know. So, what did you play in top 8?
But before that, me and my dad, we saw what the other kids were playing, and we would go home and build the decks and start playing against them till I was confident against the matchups.
That's pretty smart. Like me and my friends do that, but like that's pretty cool to hear like a June like a not junior but a senior do stuff like that. Especially just like go home and just straight up build them the test. That's pretty cool. I'm guessing your dad acts as your testing partners at times.
All the time.
Right? That's pretty nice. I wish I had a testing. I wish my parent was my testing partner. But anyway, so you knew going into top 8 who you're facing, what deck they were playing. What deck were they playing?
They were playing YGZ, but I was in the seventh seed and they were in the second, and my opponent had basketball, so it was an easy win for me.
Basketball?
Yeah. Oh, my opponent didn't show up because he had basketball.
Ah, okay, thank you. Sorry, I was like, oh, okay. For a bit, I thought you were talking like a Pokemon that was like shaped like a basketball. You were just giving that nickname for like. It's like, wait a minute. Okay, thank you for elaborating. Hey, those. Hey, it's as the saying goes, we take those. So,
And
I guess because usually that's a 50-50-ish match. Actually, no, I think that's a pretty favorable matchup for them because of weakness. So you got pretty lucky there, I would like to say.
well, to be honest, me and my dad, we've been testing, and since they have so many item cards to try and get the Gallade, that it's actually a better matchup than people think.
You're right. The items can clog up their deck
And
fairly quickly, and hands as well. And if you're not smart or clever enough, you will have a hard time with that. Like for all I know, your opponent would have been able to play around that, but not everyone is able to do so, even in the Masters division. So, what did you play in top four?
I played the same Manectric Bats player that I lost to in round 3. I won.
So you're gonna get a little vengeance here, were you? At least that was the plan.
Yep. I went first and got pretty much a perfect setup for me.
Those are fun.
I headringered his Manectric, and I got the turn 1 Trev and had 2 other Phantoms on my bench. And so I passed with the energy attached to Trevenant, and since he was item locked, there was nothing he could do about it. And he would just draw pass the whole time. And I would just Silent Fear, or Tree Slam, since he only had the Manectric active. And then eventually put down 2 other Manectrics.
So how did game two go?
Game 2, he started with Manectric, and I went second. He started with a Manectric, and he put down the energy, a muscle, or a fighting fear though. Yeah. And I started with Wobbuffet, and so he wasn't able to shaman, and he got a Zubat on his bench because he just drew it, and he played a couple of item cards to get some more Zubats and another Manectric, and then he passed. So I Team Flare got his energy, put a Float Stone on Wobbuffet, Ultra Ball for the Phantom, Retreat, and then I play Sycamore and get some energy and a Phantom and an energy, or not energy. Wait, yeah, an energy and an Ultra Ball, and I Ultra Balled for another Phantom and started getting set up really well. And I would just try and keep the energy off of Manectric so he wasn't able to use Assault Laser to one-shot my Trevenants. They had bursting balloons on.
Nice. So you able to take that game pretty quickly as well, from what it seems like. Oh, sorry. So that game seems to go pretty well in your favor as well, then, correct?
And then it was on to top 2.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you felt pretty good to avenge your loss from round 3, even though your loss in round 3 was just because you came in late, and that would have normally been just a tie. So that's interesting. So in a way, you were technically undefeated at this point. In a way, even though the record does not necessarily show it.
Yeah.
So, what did you play in finals?
Seismic Toad Garatina.
Was it the same one you beat earlier or no?
No, it was a much better player.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow, just go ahead and say it. Like, yeah, the person I played earlier was not that good at all. This guy's good. I'm messing with you, dude. So, how did that match go?
I went first, but I dead drew the whole time. I would get a couple of energies, but nothing I could really do. And he got a Giratina set up and started attacking with Giratina, and I never got the item one.
Well, that's preferably how Gary Teeter Toad wants that matchup to go. But
Yeah.
seems like your only real dead draw the whole entire Texas State's run, though, for the most part, from what it seems.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see that your deck did pretty well up until that point. So how did not round two, but game two go?
I went first. I got the turn one Trev, and my opponent's hand was just filled with item cards, and he only had a Toad active. And then he would play a Sycamore, but it was too late. I already had my Trevenant set up on my bench and active. And after a couple of turns, he just scooped.
Nice. Then game three, how did with him going first, I believe. How did that go?
We both set up strong, and he was starting to power up his Giratina, and I would keep on playing Team Flare Grunt, or Xerosic, I meant, to get rid of the double dragon energies or DCEs that he had. And then there was a point where he got a handful of item cards, and he would just keep draw passing while I would play Silent Fear. And then at the last second, he top decks a Lysander, and then he goes crazy with his item cards. But out of all that, he only takes one prize card. And after seeing that, I feel really good about it. And I still had two more Trevs powered up. And after that, it started getting pretty close. But then I Xerosicked his DCE, and he had another DCE in hand, and he attached it. And then instead of Xerosicking the double dragon energy, I kept Xerosic the DCE.
Come on,
and
brah.
After saying that, I knew it was a major misplay, and that all it took was a Cassius, and for him to draw that into that DCE, because he had a Giratina on his bench with a double dragon energy. And after my dad told me that, I go, oh, good thing his Cassius was prized. And it just got really close, because if he were to get another Chaos Will attack, then he would have won. And
I just wanted to double check. Your father told you that it was a good thing that he prized his Cassius. He told you this after the match, correct?
yes, sir.
Okay, just making sure some people are just not getting in all their jimmies and twists going, your father cheated and told you information he was not supposed to. Rah! Just wanted to get that out of the way.
It was on stream also.
Oh, you were streamed during this. Okay.
Yeah.
If I can remember, I probably should put that in the description below. What was the stream? Oklahoma stream or something like that?
It's Mr. Ren 123.
Oh, Mr. Ren.
And I think it was like 3 hours and 21 minutes. If you skip there to there, then that's when our match starts.
Oh, thank you.
Alright.
So, wow, so you won Texas pretty much, well, in a way, undefeated, with your only loss being, of course, due to the fact that you were fooling around. But it's good to hear that you learned your lesson.
Yeah. My dad got really mad about it, and we nearly left. And he called my mom, and my mom was able to cool him down, and we made an agreement. And so I'm glad he didn't take me home, and we went back, because then I would have won.
So, alright.
And that would have been really bad.
Yeah. So, you then went to Oklahoma State, did you what cards did you change from Texas to Oklahoma?
I got rid of one Boba Fett and added a Dedenne for the Yveltal matchup. I took out the one Wob because if I started with it active, sometimes it would hit or hurt me. Even though it's a good home run hitter for me, it just wasn't helping as much as it was hurting me.
Yeah, Wobbuffet's like I would recommend Wobbuffet for people who like are playing two or less shamans, if that, because you do seem to play like three shamans, and that's having two Wobbuffet is just kind of ends up kind of hurting you. So one Wobbuffet is fine, I think, in your list. So
And I added the Deden because most Yveltals will have a Dark Energy and a DCE.
mm-hmm.
And so Deden with one energy can do 120 with the weakness. Then if it has a bursting balloon, then it does 180 with a total. And if they have a fighting fury belt also, then I can put up Trevenant BREAK and use Silent Fear for the perfect numbers.
Nice. Yeah, Dedenne can be a pretty mighty mouse when it wants to be.
And I also took out the Headringer and Echo Arm and put in the two battle compressors
Mm-hmm.
because I felt that if I was going to run Xerosic and Team Flagrant, that I needed a way to discard them, and it also helped to get the turn 1 Wally because there was a lot of Night March in Seniors Division, and it was really important to get that turn 1 item lock.
Yes, it is. And I actually noticed you didn't play against any Night March in Texas, did you?
There was none.
What, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's one that made it to top 4.
Okay.
And that was it.
Well, just seeing that there's only one Night March going into the top 4 is actually that's that Night March is pretty good, and I think everyone from Texas didn't realize. Oh wait, we should probably be playing Night March, and I think that's what made everyone going into Oklahoma play Night March in your division, correct?
Yeah. And then everyone in the Masters Division kept winning with Night March over and over. So all the seniors are like, hey, if it's winning in the Masters Division, let's see what it can do in Seniors Division.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
Let's say I played it a lot in the Oklahoma.
So, for Oklahoma, what did you face in round 1?
I played against Pyroar, Houndoom. I got the turn 1 block, and there was pretty much nothing they could do about it, and kept draw passing. And he would try and set up a Pyroar, but it didn't really help. And sometimes he would attach the DCE to it, and I would just play Xerosic to get it off.
Yeah, Trevenant just laughs at that stupid line. It also laughs at the dog too. Just goes, come on, this is the best you guys could do? Come on. So, yeah, how did round 2 go?
It pretty much went the same. He wanted me to go first also, or he went first.
Okay.
And he would play Professor's Letter to get a couple of energies, but I got the turn 1 Trev with Ascension, and got another Phantom and a Shaman on the bench, and I was able to get Silent Fear, so whenever he tried to attack with Houndoom, I would start using Tree Slam. If he had a Slugger in the active that I would Lysander up, I would start using Silent Fear to start knocking out his Lit Leos.
So.
And every time he would power one up, it would start getting knocked out. A slow process.
Yeah. So you won that fairly cleanly. What did you play against? And by the way, how many rounds are there for this time around in Oklahoma?
There was 5.
I figured as much. So basically, just win 3 games in a row in your head. Wow, I wish I was in the seniors division. I could do that. So anyway, what did you play in? What did you play against round 2?
I played against fairies, and I got turn 1 Trev against my opponent, and they couldn't put any bench Pokemon. So I would use Silent Fear, and they had the Eevee. They would attach the fairy energy and use Eevee's ability, where you can get the energy that the so they got Sylveon,
Mm-hmm.
and they used Curly Ribbon, and so after that I'm like, wait, I can just attach a bursting balloon pass with an energy, and if they use Curly Ribbon, I can just attach another one and use Silent Fear for the knockout. So that's what happened on the first game, and they weren't able to set anything up or any Pokemon on their bench because of the item lock. So she got donked.
Yeah. Sylveon is really annoying to play against. It really is. So annoying, but it's like not that annoying for you at all, since like you can basically attack with Trevenant for 1 energy, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
So that probably did not really worry you at all.
Well, it can be annoying when I have a mystery energy on and they put it on to a shaman.
Yeah, that probably is annoying. Like just like when I played against with a dragon deck against Sylveon once, and it kept moving my double dragon energies to my shaman. So come on. I've lost to that match even though I felt like I should not have, but like just that's largely because of weakness. But anyway, wait, you said your opponent was a girl, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's not surprising at all. It's like of course a girl would play Sylveon, but like that's just kind of adorable at that point, really. So,
And she's My Little Pony playmat.
see everybody, this is the kind of this is the kind of target audience that My Little Pony should like the kind of people that should be watching My Little Pony. Come on, people.
Oh, and a deck box. That was My Little Pony.
Yeah, that is just precious. I'm not even gonna lie, that's precious. Anyway, game 3, not game 3, but round 3. What did you play there? And
I played against Night March, and it was against probably one of the best Night March players. And so they won the coin flip, and they went first and exploded, but because of bursting balloon, and I got the Trevenant set up on my turn, there was pretty much nothing they could do because they would keep knocking themselves out, and I would have another Phantom or Trevenant on the bench to be ready to attack again. And after a while, they started dead drawing because of the item lock.
yeah,
Then game 2, he tried to use the Shaman loop, and I noticed, and I played Judge, and after that, I used Tree Slam to start knocking the Shamans out, and he got donked because of that, and that's how I went 2-0 against the first Night March.
nice. So, was this for Oklahoma? Was this top 8 or top 4?
This is round 3.
Yeah, I know, but like, was it how many people made cut? Was it top 8 made cut or was it top 4?
It was a top 8.
Okay, making sure because sometimes with 5 rounds there's only 4 that make cut, and sometimes there's 8. It's kind of hard to tell. Sometimes I think it's like around like 22 or 24. If it's 22 or 24, then there's top 8. At least that's what I remember seeing. So yeah, so I'm guessing the next 2 rounds you just tied. You're just ID'd.
The last round.
Okay.
Because there was only 5 rounds.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like round 4 and round 5, did you ID?
Yeah.
No, right?
Or round 4, I was going to ID, but the player didn't want to because he was 2-0-1 or 2-1. Yeah, 2-1.
Okay, that's understandable.
And so he wanted to play it out. He won the coin flip. He had an explosive start, but bursting balloon and item lock once again made him he started dead drawing and was knocking his own self out.
What was your opponent playing?
Night March.
Oh, okay. I figured as much, just like the way you were talking about it.
And then game 2, that he also tried to use the shaman loop, but I played judge and he's just dead drew, and I was able to get the Trevenant up and wasn't able to play any of the item cards. And I pretty much dunked. No, I took all 6 prizes because at some points he would have to put down pumpkaboos and it would get 2-shot by Silent Fear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I won game 2.
And Jotik just gets 1 shot.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a scary matchup for them. So you won game 2, and now you're 4-0. I'm guessing you're pretty happy. And then you ID last one, and you're to the top seed going to top 8, correct?
Yes, sir.
All
And
right.
I need the last one.
All right. So, by the way, was Swiss and top 8 all done in one day?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. So, no, go ahead.
Top 8 was another Night March. It was another similar game to the others, and they would put down Joltics instead of Pumpkaboos, and I got the Silent Fear set up and one-shotted a lot of them. And he put a Joltic with a Fighting Fury belt, so I play Zerosic and get rid of the Fighting Fury belt and use Silent Fear to knock out the Joltic. And I also had Bursting Balloon, and I started getting I started getting the knockouts on Shaman, and I took all 6 prizes.
So that was game 1, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. How did game 2 go?
Game 2, they got an explosive start, and I got a bursting balloon, and I got 2 phantoms, and then eventually 2 Trevs on the bench, and a Trevenant active, and I kept putting bursting balloons on him, and he would keep on knocking himself out with the bursting balloons. And then eventually I took all 6 prizes, and it took like 10 minutes for this round because of how quick it was.
Wow. So you advanced to top 4, just fairly easily it seems. So, what did you play in top 4?
I played against another Night March.
Huh.
I kept the first game he won the coin flip and got an explosive start, and I had a phantom active and had to pass. I didn't get energy, draw. Wait, I had a Wobbuffet active, but it wasn't really very effective because he would just discard his shamans and be perfectly fine. And Wobbuffet didn't do anything, just a slug in the active. And then I had a shaman in hand, and that was my only draw. And eventually I just had to pass, and I got donked. And on game 2, I was going first. I start with the Phantom, and with the Wally and another Pokemon. And then, so he gets an explosive start. He misses the DCE for the knockout
Ooh.
and nearly goes his whole deck.
Wow.
And so he has to pass, and I get a Sycamore, and I get another Phantom, but no energy or Dimension Valley
Oh.
or a Trevenant in hand. So I just have to pass, and I keep playing catch up, and just when you're trying to play catch up to Night March, you know you're not going to win.
No, one does not simply just catch up to Night March.
Because it's too speedy.
No, when they go, they go.
Yeah.
So that must have been kind of heartbreaking, kind of anticlimactic for you. Like your entire stage run for the last several weeks has just been pretty much on fire, and you just kind of hold a sec. You just kind of just lose just because of just bad hands. It just like that stuff happens, but it just kind of sucks to see when it happens.
It was also a rematch from round 3.
Oh.
The really good Night March player.
Yep.
And it was his turn to win.
Yeah.
Just like when I played against Manectric Bats, it was my turn to win.
Wait, was this the same guy that you played in Texas?
No, I didn't play him in Texas.
Okay.
But he made top 4 in Texas.
So he top 4 that time, and you made top 4 this time. Did he end up winning the whole entire thing?
No, he lost and got second to another Night March player.
Oh, to another Night March player. So if you were able to not dead draw, you probably would have had a fairly good matchup against Night March as well. Again, if you did not dead draw. But it happens. Were there any changes you wish you did make or did not make going from Texas to Oklahoma?
I would probably take out the Den and the Wobbuffet and add a Startling Megaphone and a Battle Compressor.
A third battle compressor.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Because the Battle Compressors were really good.
That's interesting. I do see a fair amount of Trev do play a decent amount of it. I want to ask you a couple questions about your list real quick, though. First question is, well, and kind of the more obvious one, why were you playing 2 Super Rod?
So I could play more aggressive. That's another reason why I have 3 Shamans.
So this seems to be going more aggressive and just try. If you have a bad hand turn 1, you can go. That's fine. I have 2 Super Rod. Just take them more.
Yep.
All right. That's a pretty fair strategy. I like that strategy a little bit, honestly.
Because I don't want to have a hand where I need draw, and I don't want to discard all my Trevenants. Oh, what should I do?
Yeah, those hands suck. You just go, I don't want to get rid of this hand. It's so good, but I need to draw something. But having 2 Super Rod does counteract that type. That's pretty nice strategy.
Thank you.
So, let's see. Is there anything else? I noticed a good fair amount of Trev were not playing Team Flare Grunt. What made you decide to play the Flare Grunt?
It was Russell Lepar who suggested it. He said, it will help in the Toad-Tina matchup, and Xerosic will help in the Night March matchup. So I said, okay, and I tried it out, and I think it worked so much better with it, and it was also since I don't run Crushing Hammer or Enhanced Hammer, I can use Team Flare Grunt and Xerosic.
So that is pretty smart. So what other plays did you? Not other plays. What? Let's see. Is there anything else I want to ask? Why only one Lysander, I guess?
What was that?
Why did you only play one Lysander?
I just couldn't find that much room for a second Lysander. I know that a second Lysander would be great, so I can just Lysander up a slug, but I just couldn't find any room for it.
Ah, that's fair. That's fair enough.
And it was a choice between Echo Arm, Headringer, and the second Lysander. And I chose the Echo Arm and Headringer.
Eco Arm is pretty good, in my opinion, but eventually you did take that out, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, final question I get. Yeah, final question. How many championship points do you have going into states in general? And how many championship points are you sitting at now?
I'm sitting at 477.
Yeah, so you're good. You're pretty much qualified for Worlds.
And I still have a couple more league challenges left.
Are you trying to make your top 16 for US and Canada?
Yep.
Are you just around the outside, or are you close, or are you in top 16?
I'm in the 20s right now.
So okay, you're about the outside. So I do hope that you do manage to. Well, I'm glad that you made. I'm glad that you made your World's Invite already, and I do hope you make top 16 for US and Canada. But that does sound pretty cool. So, one final question, I guess, for the day. Have you ever been in this? Have you ever made Worlds before, or have you ever won states or anything like that before this year?
I've gotten top 4 at the regionals championship in Houston, and I made top 32 in nationals last year.
Nice. That's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive. Was last year your first year playing?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty good. And yeah, that's pretty impressive. And once again, I do hope you make your top 16 invite. Not invite, but you managed to make top 16 for US and Canada. And I also hope that you do well at Worlds. And if you do, please feel free to want to do another interview with me again. Anyway, thank you once again for being on my channel with me today, and thank you for sharing your list and doing an interview with me.
Thank you for interviewing me.
No problem, dude. No problem. My pleasure. And thank you for anyone who tuned in to watch today. Please like, subscribe, all that silly stuff. And also check out Mr. Ren123. His link should be in the description below, if I remember correctly. Or may not, probably won't. I'm bad. So thank you everyone once again. Have a nice day. Please like, subscribe, all that silly stuff. I shall see you guys next time.